All right, let's make some Amish noodles. So, the star of the show, of course, is the noodles, and you'll want to be sure to get this Kluski noodles. Now, I found these at an Amish grocery store. However, at one time, I know Kroger sold Kluski noodles. I believe Mrs. Weiss Kluski noodles, so you may be able to find them there. They were on the lower shelf, though, if I recall correctly. But anyway, you can see these are egg noodles. They're a little bit thicker, so they'll take quite a bit more cooking time than, say, regular spaghetti pasta would. Now, growing up, my mother actually made these homemade noodles. So, and I would sneak them, and she would get on to me because there was raw egg in it, blah, 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 blah. So, anyway. But I loved this dish as a kid. It was in our family. So, it's really simple ingredients, though. You definitely want some onion because it is so simple in ingredients. This really helps with the flavor. I'm going to be making beef. Now, it was interesting. I kind of peeked. I was trying to see the cook time on these. And I was peeking in the label. And it looks like they use ground beef. So you can make it even less expensive. I'm sure you can use chicken with this. But anyway, I'm using beef stew meat today. And I'm making the beef in advance of, we have company coming and we'll have a busy Saturday. But Saturday night, I want to make this dish and I'll just have to come home and throw the noodles in with the beef and dinner will be ready in like 20 minutes. Make a quick salad. So this was a favorite of mine as a child, and I made it for the guest that's coming when he was a child. Now he's an adult. So I think he's looking forward to that. I haven't had it since I last made it for him, probably over 10 years ago. I'm going to put some bouillon in mine. May or may not put salt in based on... If I put a little bouillon in, I probably won't. I'm going to put pepper in mine. I have some Amish butter here too, so I'm going to put part butter, part oil. You can just use oil if you want, or, you do you. So let me get this going. Now, I haven't had nonstick cookware in forever, so I always use these heavy-duty stainless steel pans. These were Belgique. They were sold in Macy's, and you could get really great deals on them during the holidays. But I have not this brand. I have maybe a Cuisinart heavy-duty stainless steel, and I actually fry eggs on that. So I don't need any non-stick stuff. I'm always skeptical about that stuff anyway. So, and you should always never use metal and Teflon non-stick. So I had this on high, so I'm going to throw a little oil in there. Because you want, on heavy duty stainless steel, part of not making it stick is to not, you have to let the pan heat up before you put your oils in. So that's what we've done here. And we'll be back in just a sec. Okay, I've got my oils in. I put my Amish butter in. And let me tell you, I've never had Amish butter until, that I recall, until just last week when I went to a Amish grocery store. That video is up. I'm trying to remember to put a link to that. But I went up there and I got this Amish butter. I've heard great things about it. But if you've ever tried Kerrygold Irish butter, it's very much like that. Very flavorful. Just beautiful. I bought a big log of it, and I just cut it up and put it in my freezer. So we're just going to brown this meat really well because that'll bring some flavor as well as this really good butter. Again, you don't have to use the butter. You can use whatever oil you like. This is just what I'm using today. So we'll get this brown and see you in a minute. Alright, now you can see we have some beautiful color on the beef. Adding a bunch more flavor. And that butter, let me tell you, it smells so good. It smells amazing. So it's going to be something new I've never put in here. So I'm sure it's going to be delicious. I'm going to put a whole onion in here. Because again, we need flavor. It's a very simple dish. Now, when my guest was a child, they did not like onions, so I chopped, maybe I used the immersion blender and just ground them up. Like, there's all kinds of ways to trick kids into eating better. Like, I'd make spaghetti sauce and I'd throw, carrots, any vegetable I could sneak in, like, and then I just wouldn't add any type of sweet, like I always use balsamic vinegar in my spaghetti sauce as my, quote, sweetener. When it's reduced, it's really sweet. But yeah, I would just put carrots in, and then that would work as a sweetener in my sauce. So took this off the heat only so that you could see how nicely brown it is. And we're going to put our onions in there. I've turned the heat down on this. We're going to put the onions in there and let those get, a little bit translucent. And then we are going to add our water because this beef is really tough. So you want to let it simmer in some water until it's soft and kind of falling apart is where we want it. And my, look at the color on that already. Alright, so now we are going to pour our water in. I have a quart jar here to start with. And that will be enough for now. Now when we go to add the noodles, we're going to want to add a lot more water. We will not be draining this. So it's a one pot meal, which we love. So, yeah, I'm going to simmer this for, I don't know, probably an hour, maybe an hour and a half. And you can always do this in a crock pot, or the Instapot, whatever you want to do, however, to get your beef tender. So, but as I said, I'm just cooking this until it's tender. I'm going to let it cool, put it in the fridge for tomorrow night when we get home late. I'll just put it on the stovetop, put the noodles in, and dinner is served. So, I will be spending money probably on breakfast, probably on lunch, out. So, this is a good way to balance out that spending. Oh, and I almost forgot. I'm going to add just a smidgen of that bouillon, because you saw the color we had happening there. So, and then I'll grind in some pepper off camera. And yeah, I got it on low. And we'll see you after, no, I'm going to check it in an hour. How about that? See you back then. All right, it's been an hour. And I've checked the meat. It is not tender yet. So I'm going to put it on for another hour. I mean, really, when this cooks, you can have some chunks in it, but basically you kind of want strands of beef throughout. That's how I like it. That way everybody gets some protein, and it's kind of more evenly distributed. But I do hope to have some chunkiness to the beef still. So that's kind of the consistency you're going for, but you know, since there's no steadfast rule on getting this tender, we're just going to go for the 2-hour mark. And then I did taste it, and it does need some more bouillon or salt, whatever you like. The flavor is good, but I think I'm going to add just more bouillon for more beef hearty flavor. So I'm going with that. So I'm going to season it, and we're just going to let it sit. Another reason I want to add some salt to this, these noodles have a negligible amount of sodium in them, 20 milligrams. So those on a low sodium diet might do better with some of the Amish noodles. So yeah, so I definitely want to add a little bit more sodium in. All right, so this is just around, I guess it's been 2 hours and 20 minutes. Now again, I have this on low, but you can see I can just break this. Now it did take some force, but this has to cool. Like I said, I'm finishing this tomorrow, so I'm going to let this cool, and it'll continue to get tender there, and then I'll put it in the refrigerator. We'll be back in just a minute when I finish this off with the noodles. Alright, so it's the next day and we're ready for dinner. So I've got my pot on. I've added some more water to it. As soon as it comes to a boil, I'll be adding the Kluski noodles. Alright, we're at a boil and we're going to dump the noodles. Now this is going to make a lovely gravy once this is all cooked. And I keep a close eye on it. You have to stir it often and to keep those noodles from sticking. And I'll add more water as needed. And I have a cup of water already on reserve. Alright, it's been 13 to 14 minutes and you can see we have a lovely beef gravy here. It was made just from cooking the noodles in the pot. And this dish is done. Quick and easy. Like I said, I made the beef the day before. Just put the noodles in tonight and dinner's been ready in like 15 minutes. So I was able to get a nap in today. I loved it. I hope you're doing well. Appreciate you watching and we'll see you later.